season was marred by mistakes and cost him the championship. The Minnesota native's run for the 2009 title has been much different. And his fourth win of 2009 goes to the points leader, Ryan Dungey. Can Dungey complete the quest and capture his first professional championship? Or will the pro circuit duo of Jake Weimer and Ryan Morais cap an improbable last-minute comeback? The final round of Supercross Lites West Region Racing gets underway right now, only on Speed. Tonight in Eccles Stadium on the campus of the University of Utah, we will crown a Supercross Lites West Coast champion. The 2009 Monster Energy AMA Supercross Championship and FIM World Championship is in Salt Lake City, round 8 of 8, as we get ready to crown the Supercross Lites West Coast champ. Hi everybody, Ralph Shaheen alongside Speed's only Supercross Series champion Jeff Emig, and tonight 3 riders battle it out for the final Lights Class Championship of the year. Ryan Dungey has the points lead, but not by much over Jake Weimer, and Weimer's teammate, Ryan Morais, also has a shot at the crown, but he's going to need more help.
Well, the Pro Circuit boys, they're definitely going to need some help. But what a difference a year makes. Last year, Ryan Dungey needed some extra points. He came in and won the final race, but he just could not win that championship. This year, he's got the points lead. He doesn't have to win, but Dungey has been spectacular this year. I look for him to do that again here tonight, walk away with the championship.
Well, let's show you how tight the points are coming into this final round here in Salt Lake City. Dungey 9 in front of Weimer. Morais just a few more markers back in third. Now, the rider who won the championship last year, Jason Lawrence, started the West Coast region off with the #1 plate when we were back in Anaheim, but he's not here to finish out the Supercross Lites West Coast season in 2009. And with more on that story and a Progressive pre-race report, here's our Aaron Bates.
And the punishment continues for the defending West Coast Lights champion, Jason Lawrence. The AMA had reviewed the altercation, the on-track altercation that took place between Broc Hepler at the Jacksonville, Florida Supercross, and they have extended his probation to the May 3rd of 2010, suspended him for the remainder of the season, and fined him a $10,000 fine. A very tough lesson for Jason Lawrence.
It's been a tough year for Jason Lawrence. As you can see, this just confirming what Aaron was talking about. Suspended for the rest of this year, fined, and then put on probation all the way for basically another year to May 3rd, 2010. And the riders are at the line as we get set for heat #1. And there is Jake Weimer, the man who is second in the points. 5 heat race wins this year. And Jeff, those heat race wins important because it helps set you up for your gate pick for the main event.
Well, and Jake Weimer certainly has something to prove here tonight. He's still in the championship hunt. He needs to have a better start and a better heat race than what he had last week to get that confidence ready for the main event.
You see our Progressive starting lineup going across the top of the screen. It has been rainy. Rained some last night, some today. Cool temperatures here in Salt Lake City. We're ready for heat #1. The land rush is on this very slippery track here at Eccles Stadium as they charge through. Oh, a couple of riders getting together, and Jake Weimer gets the whole shot and starts to sneak away from the pack.
See, that's what that whole shot can do for you, Ralph. It gives you a clear track. And I believe that was Ryan Morais, his teammate, who was second off the start, went down, collided with another rider, and on the low parts, in some of those turns, the insides and the low parts are very wet and slippery, and the high parts are great, as you can see right here. As Blows,
Chris Blows runs
Weimer,
in second, and Dan Reardon was one of the riders involved in that crash. Let's go back and take a look at that incident at the very beginning of this race.
Yeah, and watch here on the right, Weimer has it here, the whole shot. And watch as that's Canard here, I believe. Some riders go down at first and see.
Boy, they're dropping everywhere.
Yeah, Morais clips in there, and it looks like Canard. And you can see just how sloppy it is there in the middle of the turn.
And Weimer, boy, you can see him just tiptoeing around that corner, Jeff, waiting to apply the throttle.
Yeah, 1 lap later, this is Weimer starting that turn on the high side. And look how much wheel spin there is as he exits the turn and just skimming across the top of the whoops. shift up to third or fourth gear and really get the rear wheel spinning to try to drive some momentum across their track is very difficult here tonight.
What kinds of things will they do to combat the conditions?
Well, motocross riders, supercross riders, we grow up riding in the mud, okay? So parts of the track are really good and tacky, and the other spots are just really slippery. So that's just the rider's intuition. You just know, over the years you develop that skill to know where it's slippery and where it's not.
Now the top 9 transferred from each heat right on to the main event, and Morais has built himself back up to 8th, so he is in a transfer spot. Now he's just fighting for a better gate pick.
No doubt about it. Here he goes for the triple.
Oh, and makes it,
Nails
and he's
it.
going to get 2 positions here maybe by the end of the straightaway.
Well,
definitely got 7th, and he's right on 6th.
There's LaPaglia just getting a position back.
And he's still fighting for that 6th position. Here he comes, cuts to the inside, blocks him, and takes the spot away, and also knocks a couple of the tough blocks out into the path of those behind him.
And that was Jeff Alessi that he just moved past, and next one in line for Morais, who is absolutely flying after falling down on the first lap, is going to be Mike Sleater on the KTM.
Morais, remember, 3rd in the championship with 1 heat race win this year.
I spoke to Ryan earlier today. I asked him about the jetting problems and things like that teams might encounter with this high altitude up here in Salt Lake City. He says, look, my bike has been awesome. Definitely the altitude robs the horsepower, but his team has done a great job at making the jetting clean, and that is so important on these 250F 4-stroke machines. You can see Morais just really reeling in Sleater right now. See him just tiptoeing through some of these areas. So much, look on the right side of the screen there. It is just a sloppy mess on the insides, and the track in spots is going to be pretty one line.
Here comes Morais cutting back in, and the Kawasaki gets past the KTM. And Morais picks up another position. Jake can move him up to 4th.
And did you see, he came out of the turn, just dropped the hammer. The rear wheel never, he's
that
on
was
the top.
big. He got right up on that front wheel, Jeff. I thought he was going all the way over the berm.
Nice piece of riding here by Ryan Morais. He was so close. Another inch with the front wheel over the top of that berm. He would have been going to the LCQ. Fine piece of riding.
2 laps left to go. The names across the screen in green at the top are the riders that hold those 9 transfer positions.
And Morais is such an interesting rider this year. He has had some strong rides, so we know that he's physically fit. He has won some heat races, shown some incredible speed, but he has not been on the top spot of the podium. Watch right here, he clips this, and watch the rear wheel come up. And he actually had his weight forward over the bars.
Yep.
So when that rear wheel clipped, all that weight transferred, it was really close to him going over the bars. That would have ended this moto for him.
Morris's biggest problem is just what you said, Jeff. He hasn't won a race. He's been on the podium every race but one, and that was in San Francisco, where he had a top 5 finish. But every other round has been a second, a third, or a bunch of seconds. 4 second-place finishes, actually. Unlike this man, Jake Weimer, who's had 3 wins, and Dungey, who's had 4. We'll see Dungey in heat number 2.
It has been a phenomenal year for Jake Weimer. He's adapted to this team. He's knuckled down, really worked hard, has been right there in that one off week where it was a 4th, and in such a close championship where he just really gave up the points here. He's got something to prove tonight. He's still in the championship hunt. He certainly has regrouped, but look back to last week in Seattle after the main event was over. So much frustration and disappointment, but this is his week where he can redeem himself.
Well, I think another race that really made a difference for Weimer was his other 4th place finish, which was Phoenix, where he was leading and in front of Dungey, but then lost it in the sandpit. But not here in heat number 1, as Weimer takes his 6th heat race win of the 2009 season. We'll be right back to see how his title combat Ryan Dungey does in heat 2 right after this. Welcome back to Salt Lake City. Beautiful shot into the Wasatch Mountains, which is right behind the stadium here, Eccles Stadium. Here's a look at the results from heat number 1. Everybody down to Ben LeMay is going on to the main. Michael LaPaglia takes the rest of the field off to last chance qualifier, and we go down to Aaron.
A very impressive heat race win for Jake Weimer. Jake, after the devastation that took place last weekend in Seattle, how much pressure is on your shoulders coming into this final round for the West Coast?
You know, not that much really, because at this point there's only one thing I can do, and that's, you know, go out there and win. So, you know, I'm happy that I got the Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki out front in the heat race and got away with the win. So I want to thank everybody from the team. Parts Unlimited, Thor, Bridgestone, Scott, Vans, Terminal Velocity, everybody that helps us and get us here. Thank you, Toyota of Escondido. Thank everybody. It's awesome.
Jake Weimer making his way onto the main, hopefully a title by the end of the night for him. And also he'll be a part of the East-West Shootout, which will take place in Las Vegas next Saturday night, which is when AMA Supercross will be back on speed for the season finale. James Stewart and Chad Reed battle live from Vegas. Don't miss a minute of the action. AMA Supercross live at Saturday, 10 Eastern, only on speed. And as I said, that East-West Shootout, a part of that, which is always great, Jeff. Getting ready as a 30 card goes, 32nd board as they call it, goes up in the air.
This is where the nerves start to set in, and if you're the good guys, you shake them out. Yeah, exactly. And Ryan Dungey, this is it. Heat race, got to get it into the main event. On his way, trying to achieve that first Lites Supercross title, but there's some heavy hitters in this one also. He's got former Supercross Lites champion Trey Canard to contend with.
That's our Yamaha starting grid across the top of the screen, and here we go. Heat number 2, ready to drop the gate. Gotta watch those brakes in that very slippery corner, and one rider down and a couple behind him, and they keep stacking up. Trey Canard gets the whole shot.
That looked like Cunningham that had the whole shot and went down with the lead into the first turn.
And then there's Dungey right behind Canard. So Dungey got away clean. Canard out front. Kyle Cunningham, one of the riders involved in that big incident in that first corner.
Well, these riders have the advantage here in the second heat that the track has already been raced on. The lines are broken in. It's going to reflect more of what the track is going to be like for the main event. So definitely on a night like tonight, being in the second heat is going to be a slight advantage.
Well, they also know that Weimer turned to 56.5 as his fastest lap. So they'll be shooting for that as well. As we watch Dungey on the Rockstar Makita Suzuki, here's that first corner.
Here we go. Now watch Cunningham gets in there into that inside rut. You seen that main line that was shown. Now watch on the top of your screen there. He's really dragging the brake, and he just gets into that rut, and he can't get the front wheel in. He got the back wheel in instead of both wheels sliding and keeping his momentum going. The back wheel hooked up, kind of bucked him to the inside.
I'll tell you what, Canard on that Geico Power Sports Honda, our race leader there on the number 39, did a great job at that point, Jeff. He got pushed on from the inside by Cunningham, held the bike upright, got the whole shot, and takes the lead.
Little rider's intuition there. That's sort of close racing and all that. It's something that you develop. You become comfortable in those situations that are very intense. But Canard, the season did not start off like he wanted. He was the reigning East Coast Lites Supercross champion. Had a really tough time there in Phoenix. Had that horrendous crash. But now here with a few races to go, Canard back to his winning ways.
He definitely came into the season as a hot prospect for the West Coast Championship to go along with his East Coast title from a year ago, and it, as you said, Jeff, it just did not develop that way at all. In fact, his best finish on the year was a pair of thirds, one at Seattle and one at Anaheim too.
Yeah, well, in his defense, after the Supercross Championship was over last year in the middle of summer, he had that injury that he was off the bike for months and months. But now he definitely is dialed in. And this is a young man from Oklahoma that is so impressive at Supercross. I mean, he showed us last year winning his... Dungey misses the triple.
Yeah, it sure did, and it's going to cost him a whole bunch of time as Brayton comes reeling right in from third place. Justin Brayton trying to take second away, and that also allows Canard to open up a bigger gap.
Well, and you can see the position that Dungey is in. He's our points leader. He's that rider that has everything to lose if the race goes bad for him. He's looking a little tentative right now, a little bit cautious. You know, this is a tough track. And I can only imagine what sort of nerves he has and what's going through his head, because remember last season he had such a terrible time when he had the points lead. This season he really has matured, done a phenomenal job, and he's going to apply what he learned last year towards this season. He's close, but the championship is not won yet.
You know, Jeff, you and I spent some time with him in the hauler earlier today while he was eating his pre-race meal, and boy, he sure seemed nice and relaxed. And look at how he's closed right back up on Canard after he rebounds from that mistake. But if you're Dungey, how hard do you push tonight? Because really, like you said, if he doesn't make mistakes, he stands a better chance of winning the title as opposed to maybe pushing and opening the door to make a mistake.
Yeah, you don't have to win. He doesn't have to win the race to win the championship, which is a nice feeling, but there definitely is pressure. But he's prepared as any rider out there. That's why he was so comfortable and relaxed when we were talking to him, you know?
Look at this, like he was struggling through there, didn't it?
A little bit. Those whoops are very slippery on the face. You get a lot of wheel spin going, trying to skim across the top. Just got a little weight to the inside. For a rider like Dungey here tonight, he wants to keep it between the uprights. You get too close to those tough blocks, that's when those things reach up and grab you. And that's the last thing he needs to happen on a night like tonight.
And they're getting into a little bit of traffic now.
And the track's going to be a little one line in spots here tonight, or at least how it looks like it's shaping up right now. 2 laps to go in this heat race. They've already hit some lappers, so these riders are flying in comparison to the back markers, who are, you know, significant amount, over 10 seconds off of the pace that Trey Canard's on right now.
And Dungey trying to do something for Suzuki that hasn't been done in quite a while. They have not won a West Coast title since Damon Huffman did it back in 1995.
13 years?
13 years. Long time. Dungey struggling through the whoops here in this heat race. Watch this.
Yeah, let's take a look back. See, he gets out of there, looks good, and then the bike loses some drive. See how the front wheel was really hitting into the face, and he started to sense that his weight was going to the left, to the inside. He actually had to slow down and put his foot down. Good piece of riding by Dungey. And you can see now.
For Trey Canard, his second heat race win of 2009 as he beats Dungey to the line. Brayton will join them as those 3 riders make their way to the main event. And Dungey a little bit closer to the West Coast title. Seattle, Washington, and Quest Field, the penultimate round for the Supercross Lites West Coast Series. Some riders couldn't come to grips with the dirt there. One rider, however, did. Ryan Dungey. This was the night where he extended the points lead and tried to put it out of reach. But he'll have to deal with one more round to see if he can claim his first West Coast championship. The fans here at Eccles Stadium having to bundle up a little bit. Chilly night, but the sun is shining finally today. Here's the results from heat number 2 on the campus of the University of Utah, where they just saw Trey Canard take the win on his Honda. Ben Evans will take everybody else to the LCQ, and here's Aaron.
Trey Canard celebrates his second heat race win of the season. Trey, you've had a bit of a roller coaster season. What would it mean to you tonight to end this on a positive note?
It'd be awesome, you know, for myself and Geico Power Sports Honda. You know, those guys work really hard. The Dunlop tire guys giving us a great tire out here. I think tonight's just going to be smooth and consistent laps is what it's going to take. So, got to thank the whole team behind me, Geico Power Sports, AM, PM, Fox, everyone. Lord Jesus Christ, most of all, thanks a lot.
Trey Canard, 0.4 of a second quicker on his best lap than that of E1 winner Jake Weimer. We'll be back to Utah.
The Bull.
Vegas, Nevada, Sam Boyd Stadium, and for the Lites, it's the East-West shootout. It's all about pride and money and who's the big dog in the Lites class as the East and West get together. See it live May 2nd, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on Speed. Of course, if you want to come see it in person, go to supercrossonline.com and get your tickets or watch it live on Speed. The Davey Coombs Senior Memorial East-West Shootout. It's all part of our Toyota moving forward schedule. Now let's show you the last chance qualifier highlights from here in Salt Lake City. Final shot of the main, Jeff.
And there certainly were a lot of highlights as you see the Suzukis of LaPaglia and Brady Sharon out front with the hole shots.
Those 2 Fun City Suzuki riders in the yellow and blue sneaking away from the field, but they had company as Ben Evans got up there on his 350, the Honda.
Well, Evans really had one part of the track where he just excelled. There was a triple jump that he was nailing and the other riders weren't. Here's Evans making the move. Now watch him nail this triple, stretches it out. That really made the difference for that final transfer spot.
This is probably one of the hardest hits of the year.
And this is Reardon, makes a mistake. Eccles makes a mistake. They both get together. End of the night.
Checkered flag would come for Sharon, his first win to the last chance qualifier this year. He takes the win there, and we take it to the results page. And here's a look at Brady Sharon and Ben Evans going on to the main event. Michael LaPaglia coming up a spot short. Get the very latest motorcycle racing news and results with Green Alerts from Speed Mobile. And huge wins, the big upsets. When the action happens, you'll know. Just text KX to 773333 to get free text alerts. Speed Green Alerts presented by Kawasaki. This week, we're going back under the helmet with a VIP pit pass, and it's on that man, the 114, Justin Brayton.
My name is Justin Brayton. I ride for Muscle Milk MDK KTM, and I'm on the number 114 bike. One talent I wish I had would probably be pretty good at snowboarding or golf. I really like both of them, but if I could be good at golf, that'd be awesome. My favorite movie, I've got a few of them, but I would say Dumb and Dumber. It's a classic, and you gotta love Jim Carrey. The girl of my dreams, I gotta say my girlfriend Loren. I'd get in trouble if I didn't. If I had to play an actor, I would say Will Ferrell, just because everyone loves him and really funny guy. If I could eat one thing every day, I would say Chinese food. I really like Chinese food, but since it's not my diet, I try to get some every now and again. The biggest misunderstanding about me is I come off a little quiet, and but once people get to know me, I'm pretty friendly and pretty fun guy. I'm Justin Brayton, and that was your VIP pit pass.
There's Justin Brayton. I love how in every one of these VIP pit passes, they always say, but it's not in my diet,
yeah,
but I try to sneak it in when I can. Bro, everything's in your diet now that you're not riding anymore, right?
I earned it.
You did. That man's trying to earn himself a title. We'll see if he can do it. Ryan Dungey, when we come back. Get up. Welcome back to Salt Lake City. Ralph Shaheen, Jeff Emig, and Aaron Bates with you. We're on the campus of the University of Utah. The Utes playing host tonight to the final round of the 2009 Supercross Lites West Coast Championship. Here's Aaron with a Progressive pre-race report.
The number 10 of Ryan Dungey has a 9-point lead over Jake Weimer, but he's got all the pressures on the world riding on his shoulders with anticipation of being the West Coast Lites champion. In fact, he was so nervous, a little bit strung out, he decided to stay up in the rig, have some last words of encouragement from his team manager, Roger DeCoster, and he sent Buzz, the assistant team manager, down here to pick the gate pick. He said it's all in God's hands at this point. He knows what he needs to do. He needs to stay cool, calm, and collected to get the job done.
Well, there's no doubt Ryan Dungey, he is definitely on the verge here, and this would be redemption from last season. Jake Weimer trying to make a dent in that and change his fortune also.
Jeff, you see their mechanics right there with them. They're such a big part of keeping them calm, cool, and collected right now, too.
It's a group effort, no doubt, as you take a look at the up close.
Weimer and Canard, the winners of the heats tonight, but Dungey was the fastest qualifier. So, boy, it's really tough. I mean, it's some of the best racing we've seen out of Canard this year. He's certainly going to be a player for the win. And then you've got Dungey, Weimer, and Morais all battling for this championship.
And it has been a difficult track. A lot of the fast lines are leaving the inside open. So now that the track is starting to come around and dry out a little bit, when it comes main event time, you leave that inside open, another guy comes in, it could be a very rough main event.
There's our Kawasaki starting lineup across the top of the board. Monster Energy girls showing us the 30-second board. We're ready to go.
No better way to win the championship than to get the whole shot and check out.
I asked Ryan Dungey earlier today, where did you start to develop this maturity that we're seeing this year? He said, it's from the pain of last year. I learned so much from losing that title last year. Time to take the title away. Here we go. Drop the gate on the main. The first turn's been so tricky tonight. Is everybody going to get through? They do, and Dungey goes to the lead with the whole shot.
That looks like Blos.
Blos is right
On the
there with
Honda.
him.
Oh,
All
Canard.
three riders getting together. All three on Hondas, and Blos is right there. Screaming up the inside comes the number 42 machine. I believe that is Moss.
Jake Moss, after a phenomenal ride last week. Troy Lee Honda rider, followed by his teammate Chris Blos. But Dungey doing it.
Oh, and here's
now
Moss again. Moss to the inside, and Dungey leaves the door open.
And this is not at all what our championship points leader needs at this point. He grabbed the whole shot, but this is not how you script it. Dungey now going to have to work for it here, and as these riders are trying to win their first main event, he's trying to win his first championship.
And Jake Weimer and Morais not near the top couple of positions right now. It looks like Morais is in 5th, Weimer is in 9th. Championship at this stage goes to Dungey going away.
Well, you can see they worked on the track a little bit. The lines have changed, and there's
a 116 of Morais coming to the
PJ
inside.
Larson.
Oh, he got together with Larson, and it almost cost him big.
just behind Morais there, the 116. That's Trey Canard. We know Trey Canard's got some speed. He's been showing it all day. Here's Morais to the inside.
He's going to get a position. That'll move him up to 4th. He's definitely going to need to win here tonight if he wants this title.
But yeah, there's no doubt about it. Being down in points, you need to go out and win the event and hope for the best. But it's Dungey of our 3 championship contenders is the rider who got the best start and is now in total control of this championship. Only 3 laps of 15 completed. And as we've seen here tonight, this is a difficult track. There's some unexpected changes can happen at any time.
Watching Morais circulating around here at Eccles Stadium, sitting back in 4th position. He's trying to catch up to Chris Blos right now on the 63. Blos on that Troy Lee Designs Honda.
There's Morais. You hear him just really revving the bike out there, going across the whoops. Not a lot of traction on the face of those. Just stretching out the triple. And this is a standard triple where these bikes, they can really make that pretty easy. But up here in the altitude, not a lot of horsepower.
Here's Jake Weimer battling with Justin Brayton. That's for 7th. Weimer trying to get to the inside. Boy, the 2 riders battling here for position, and for Brayton, it's all about pride. For Weimer, it's about a championship dream. He gets to the outside. Oh, makes a good move, slips, almost slides out again. And finally, it looks like he's going to make the pass. What a battle they've had, Aaron.
What a battle indeed. But Jake Weimer and also Justin Brayton, they're used to this sort of bar banging activity. It kind of reminds them back in the arena cross days where it's a lot tighter setting, a lot more bar banging, some tougher racing perhaps. But all of these guys out here, they've all gone through some sort of arena cross in order to get their pro license here at Supercross.
Supercross is contested in football and baseball stadiums. Arena cross, Jeff, just in that, an arena. Hockey or basketball.
Very tight, very close racing. Pretty entertaining. If you haven't been to one, you got to check that out also. But you can see as these lights riders on these 250 out 4-strokes, those triple jumps, 72 feet up here in the altitude, it's pretty tough for them to make these jumps.
Weimer has caught him past his teammate, so that'll move him up another position or 2. But he's still got a ways to go.
And I'm telling you, Ralph, Jake Weimer is working it right now. And the reason, he makes a mistake.
We're a third of the way through this main event, the finale of the Supercross Lites West Coast region.
And I'm telling you, Jake Weimer has worked so hard with his trainer, Randy Lawrence. He's put in all the work. He's had a phenomenal season. But if it finishes like it is now, he's going to come up just a little bit short. Uh-oh, there's a rider down. You see the red flashing light. The riders have to go single, single, single over the triple.
Working their way through it, and the fight for the lead continues. Jake Moss out front. Moss looking for his first win of the year. He won a heat race. He won a last chance qualifier. He did not score points in the first few rounds because he was not up to it, coming back from injury.
He was injured.
But since he got back at Anaheim 3, he was a 14th and 8th and a 5th. He has been steadily marching towards the front of the field.
Whoa, getting a little closer out of the whoops. Ran wide, close to the tough blocks. You know, Dungey, he's watching Moss here. from behind. You know, he'd like to win this race, but also Dungey's not going to do anything crazy here. He's going to ride a solid race, try to minimize the mistakes, and now you see some of the pressure here. That's Blos on the right of your screen, Trey Canard on the left, both Honda riders.
Canard, the former East Coast champion, that title this year going to Pro Circuit, Monster Energy Kawasaki's Christophe Porcel. Of course, we'll see Christophe and the rest of the East Coast guys next
Canard
week live on Speed from Vegas in the East-West Shootout as Canard comes bar to bar with Blos, and he gets around him to take over third.
What a move by Canard there. Really been pressuring Blos. We go back to our leaders here. What? How about Jake Moss? He is on the gas. This is Dungey is on his way to becoming champion. He's won the most races this season, and Jake Moss just blew past him and has really got the hammer down.
Now we'll have to see, Jeff, as we're reeling into the halfway point. Dungey doesn't need to win this race to win the championship.
Precisely.
Of course, he'd like to, but you have to wonder now as we get into the late stages if he'll turn it up a notch or two once he feels that he's got, you know, he's comfortably towards the end of the final 2 laps, maybe make a push to see if he can get the win.
Take a look at this replay here as Canard just sets it up and just dives to the inside, almost lays the bike over, does not get off the throttle one bit, steals that position from
Wow, look at, oh, down
awesome.
goes Moss. Moss is down. Unbelievable turn of events for Jake Moss, and guess who's your race leader? The man looking for the championship, Ryan Dungey.
But man, Moss really was, let's take a look at this. He comes in there, this is a double single, and watch as he gets into this very slippery bull turn. The front wheel's gonna wash out on him. Just a slick spot there, and that allows, here's a second look. Right there, and it's happening on the entrance to the mid-turn. We've seen that a couple times here. Oh, devastating. He was having the race of his life.
Really
and
was.
He hands the lead over to number 10, Rockstar Makita Suzuki rider Ryan Dungey.
And you know, it's interesting that he'd have Rockstar as a sponsor this year. You and I spent some time with him. I asked him, how's it feel to be a Rockstar now? Because Ryan Dungey is quickly becoming one of the superstars of the sport of Supercross.
There's no doubt about that.
He's got it all going for him, and maybe if he can hang on for a few more laps, not only will he be a Rockstar, he'll be a champion on the West Coast. Here in Utah, Salt Lake City. That view you see from our camera as high up on the roof as you can get is pretty much the view Jeff and I got. We're all the way up here. One of the highest booths we've been in all season. And Ryan Dungey, for him, he's been on a high as well, winning a lot of races and right into the championship hunt this year. But, oh, look at this, Canard coming right after him. The battle for the lead has suddenly gotten very hot as a man who wants to be champ dealing with a guy who is a reigning champ.
Well, and the difference here is that Dungey, he just wants to stay out of trouble and finish this thing off inside the top 3 or 4 and wrap up the championship. Canard, he's going for the win.
Well, he needs some momentum, definitely, for Trey Canard. It has been a rough season, Jeff, as you and I have talked about it before. For Trey Canard, only 2/3, one of them coming just a week ago in Seattle. He's starting to feel some of that flow.
Well, Canard, last year's East Coast Supercross Lites champion, broke his leg in the summer, was off the bike, did not start the season here in the West Coast Championship like he wanted, had that bad crash in Phoenix, was off the bike, but now, once again, he is back on the gas, and that's a strong training program, a lot of determination, a lot of work to get yourself into this sort of shape.
Well, Dungey, if they stay the way they are, would win this title by 14 over Weimer, who's moved to 3rd. Morais is up to 5th.
Now we start to get into some lapped riders as our leaders. Dungey's at a 55, Canard's right there. You get into the pack, the riders are upwards of 58 to 1 minute lap times.
Well, here's how Weimer got 3rd.
Watch this, he jumps to the inside, blocks the line from Blos. Blos sweeps it out.
And up goes Weimer. Oh, Canard! Inside, beautiful move on Dungey. Same thing he did earlier.
Same move from earlier that he made the pass on same line that we've seen Weimer take the position from Blos. And this is how that track, the inside has dried out there some, and the fast line is entering the turn wide. You can see how much is wide open there. Canard, excellent execution there, textbook. Just has him set up, and watch him slide right into the main groove and just catches that berm. Keeps the rear wheel from sliding out.
Well, you know, last year, Jeff, what a start he got off to in the East. He won the first 4 heats and the first 4 mains that he was in 2008, which was his rookie season in the lights class. And then, as we said, he wins the championship. So many people expecting him to be such a big threat for the title this year. And it's been such a rough year, but now maybe he's going to finish strong. Well, and Dungey has got some real serious company, because closing in on him now is Jake Weimer on that Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki. He's right behind him. The battle for the title is on as well.
Well, and this is where the nerves start to set in for Dungey, as Weimer is really pressuring him.
Yeah, now instead of just cruising in second and maybe taking the win, now you got to stay in front of the guy behind you. Here he comes. Weimer has been charging so hard, turning some of the fastest laps of the night. In fact, the quickest with a 54.1. Dungey's best, only a 54.6. Let's see what he's got. Into the rhythm section, and the crowd comes to their feet. Dungey can feel it.
Back. He takes a little look over his shoulder. Now this is where those inside.
Oh, here he comes, Weimer. Weimer takes the position, and the crowd here in Eccles Stadium is on their feet cheering these 2 title combatants.
Dungey wisely just pulls up out of the way and gives Weimer the position. He does not need that to win the championship. What Dungey has to do is keep that motorcycle on 2 wheels, stay in the position that he's in. He will be champion. For Weimer, he's got points to make up. He has to drive all the way to the front and hope that Dungey makes a mistake and is going to get outside of the top 5.
You saw the gap now is 7 between the 2 in the points chase.
But how about the ride for Weimer? First lap around, he was 9th. Now he's pressuring Canard for the lead.
Canard going for his first win. Weimer going for his 4th win of the year.
1 to go. Here's Weimer to the inside.
He's gone right alongside of him. He tears off the tear-off for 1 more lap here around the floor of Eccles Stadium. They got more traffic to deal with, and traffic could definitely come into play.
Well, Weimer certainly has got some. Oh, he makes a mistake there. Weimer's going to close up. Halfway through, you know, Weimer, he wants this win. If he's not going to win this championship, he definitely wants to finish it off with the main event win.
And Canard looking for his first win of the year. He needs the momentum. He's right alongside of him on the outside, squaring him up. Bar to bar, banging in the corners, kicking the tuck blocks out of the way. Canard hangs on to the lead over the triple. Weimer makes the triple into a double. Here they come along the other side of the stadium.
1 final turn, here they go.
Who's gonna get the win here in Salt Lake City? Trey Canard gets his first win of 2009 as he lights the candles in Salt Lake. The champion for 2009 on the West Coast Tour is Ryan Dungey. Redemption time for the Rockstar Makita Suzuki rider as he makes up for losing the title a year ago. He has done it. Ryan Dungey can take a huge sigh of relief as he has won the 2009 Monster Energy AMA Supercross Lites West Coast Championship.
Let the emotion flow, Ryan Dungey. You are a champion.
Congratulatory hugs from his mechanic. The celebration is on for this team. He played it out just the way he needed to, Jeff. He wanted the 5th win of the year, but it was a much smarter move to hang in there, finish 3rd or 4th actually, and become a champ. Congrats, Ryan.
When the work weekend.
What a big night here in Salt Lake City. Take a look at the results from the main event, and all 3 of the title combatants were right in there in the top 5. Weimer, Morais, and Dungey. Everybody doing almost what they had to do. Trey Canard got in there to spoil the championship party by taking the win and stealing some of the points that Weimer and Morais desperately needed.
Well, and that it really came down to the start there for the Pro Circuit guys.
Here's Aaron.
The season may have started off a little bit rocky for Trey Canard, but he definitely knows how to put the finishing touches on the season. Trey, a hard charge tonight. You were relentless. You weren't going to give up. What does this mean to polish off the season the way you did with the win?
It's great. You know, the whole Geico Powersports Honda team, AM, PM, Unbound Energy, Fox, Shoei Helmets, Dunlop Tires, Shannon, Greg, Double G. Man, everyone's been great, stuck behind me, and man, it's great to get a win finally. I'm so pumped. Got to thank the Lord Jesus Christ. Can't thank him enough.
The road to Vegas, that's all that's left for the Lites guys. The East and the West get together for the big shootout, Sam Boyd Stadium. And you get to see it live right here on Speed. If you can't join us in Vegas, make sure you tune in and catch it next Saturday night. Here's a look at the final points, just 5, the difference between Dungey and Weimer. And they'll finish with 4 wins for Dungey and 3 for Weimer. And we go back to Aaron.
Jake Weimer gave it everything he had all the way down to the very last round. Jake, is there anything that you would say that you left on the table? A very successful season for you.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly it. It's a bummer not to come away with the win. I mean, we came real close all season, but like you said, I mean, I didn't leave anything on the table. I gave 100% every time I was out there, and that's all you can do. So I just want to, give a shout out to my team. The whole West Coast season has been a lot of fun. We came close. So the Monster Energy, Pro Circuit, Kawasaki, Terminal Velocity, Scott, Vans, Thor, everybody that helps us, Toyota of Escondido, thank you very much.
Congratulations on a tremendous season. And your teammate, Ryan Morais, once again making your way up here to the podium. Ryan, you tried so hard this season to take that first place. You weren't able to make that happen, but you did manage to stay consistent.
Yeah, I think this year was great. I think I went beyond what I kind of set myself, and I'm so excited. I can't thank Monster Pro Circuit, Kawasaki Terminal Velocity enough for giving me this chance. My trainer Darren, fiance Hannah, my family, friends, just everybody, thank you so much.
Congratulations on a successful season to you as well.
What an incredible season those two riders had here, and what a great season all the way around in the Lites for Mitch Payton and the Monster Energy Pro Circuit guys. Championship on the East, 2nd and 3rd on the West, and the shootout.
Definitely dominant, yes.
For Chad Reed and James Stewart, an epic battle for the Supercross title is on, and you can't afford to miss a race. Now with Speed On Demand Online, get caught up on the action or relive the biggest moments. Just log on to speedtv.com, keyword Kawasaki, to watch the 2009 races online on demand anytime, exclusively on speedtv.com. Okay, Aaron, back to you.
Ryan Dungey rode a little conservatively for himself this season, but he did exactly what he needed to do here tonight. And to do the honors, present the title, is Supercross competition manager Karen Myron. Karen?
Thanks, Aaron. Ryan, your hard work and consistency has paid off, and you've proven what so many of us believe. You truly have what it takes to be a champion. It's my pleasure to present to you the 2009 Monster Energy AMA Supercross Lites West Championship. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations to Ryan. Ryan, you worked so hard for this. You put everything, your heart and soul, on the line. Last year was devastating. What does this moment mean to you now that you've got this #1 title in your hand?
It means a lot. I don't know where to start. Just never giving up and keeping faith in it. And, had my heart broke a couple times, but you have to fall to become a champ, I feel. And my team, Rockstar, Makita Suzuki, behind me the whole time, Roger, Ian, my whole family, Fox, Oakley, just I don't know what to say, man. I'm super pumped. It means a lot to me, but I'm super pumped on the whole night, and I can't thank everybody enough, and got to thank God too. If it weren't for him, this wouldn't be possible.
Congratulations. You stayed cool, calm, collective, and all your hard work paid off. Congratulations.
Well, the East-West shootout is next week. It's all part of our live event coverage from Las Vegas, May 2nd. Here on Speed, and congratulations to the entire Rockstar Makita Suzuki team. The last championship in the Lites class is claimed for 2009. It belongs to Ryan Dungey. For Aaron Bates and Jeff Emick, I'm Ralph Shaheen. So long from Salt Lake. Congratulations to Trey Canard and Ryan Dungey, the champ.